Canadian parliamentarians are planning a visit to Taiwan. Trudeau is worried about the consequences. This is the Great White North Report. I'm in love with the system. Never going home. I'm in love. So, in the wake of U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, which outraged the Chinese Communist Party and hurt the feelings of the Chinese people on the mainland, Canada is pretty much preparing to do the same thing. And it's nothing new. We do have informal ties with Taiwan, but we do adhere to the one China policy, which means that there's one China but two systems of government, which I think is a total crock. It's just a polite way of appeasing the Chinese Communist Party and their insecurities, and gives credence to their claim that Taiwan is part of China, which historically it's only been part of China at various times in its history, but never for its entirety. Just like Tibet has at one time been its own independent country. So this group of Canadian parliamentarians is planning a trip to Taiwan as early as October, and it's the Canada-Taiwan Friendship Group. And it comes on the heels of U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to the island in early August, which caused massive demonstrations by the Chinese military, which was really stupid, actually. It's childish. Pelosi goes, the Chinese Communist Party and the Wu Maos that are their mouthpiece online start blasting the U.S. and threatening to shoot down Nancy's plane, which would start a war, by the way. And then they start doing military exercises, which is a waste of resources, to be honest, and just shows your capabilities. And it is pretty childish. And let's face it, I support Taiwan myself, and most people do. Taiwan is a pretty cool country to visit. It's cleaner, and the people are much more friendlier and polite than they are in the mainland China. So Ontario Liberal MP Judy Segreau told CBC that the trip will be specifically a trade committee visit this time, and it's being sponsored by the Taiwanese government. So this is an opportunity for Canadian businesses to expand economic ties with Taiwan. And there's nothing wrong with that. That if it helps our economy and helps deepen trade relationships with Taiwan. And we want to see what opportunities there for. And the trip was planned last spring, and whenever the trip takes place will depends on the Taiwan CCP virus protocols. Liberal MP John McKay visited Taiwan several times under the banner of the Friendship Group. And we shouldn't bow down to the Communist Party pressure not to go there. Why should we let them bully us over Taiwan? My opinion is that we should adhere to the one-child policy, but switch it from no longer recognize the Chinese Communist Party for their actions over the past 5 years, and instead switch our recognition back to Taiwan to represent the Chinese people. Because that's what the Communist Party wants you to think. They want you to think that they alone represent all Chinese people worldwide. And of course this is going to draw Beijing's fangs. They're going to be all over us about this. But what can they do, really, that they already haven't done over the past 3 years? Are they going to start sending missiles back into the South Pacific and the East China Sea and all that stuff, like they did after Pelosi's trip? Our relations with China are already destroyed anyway. This is only one of dozens of friendship groups on Parliament Hill. There are 89 members of the group in 2021. And it allows MPs and senators to maintain relations with a variety of governments and communities outside the scope of official government activities. Hell, we even have one for the other friendship groups, include Canada-Palestine and the Canada-Uyghur Parliamentary Friendship Group. I don't really agree with the Canadian-Palestine one, but the Canadian-Uyghur one, for all that's worth. So they don't receive any administrative or financial support from the Parliament of Canada. So it's through their own pockets, basically. Taxpayers aren't really funding this one. And they're planning to send one too, to Taiwan in the first week of October. So we're not alone in this. Of course, Trudeau, who just loves the CCP and admires their system of government, he thinks that he fears that it could escalate tensions with China. Trudeau is such a China lover. And again, if he didn't, it would be a repudiation of his own father's policies towards opening up China, the mainland of China. You have to remember, in the 70s, it was Pierre Trudeau who went and formalized relations with mainland China, and to do so we had to drop Taiwan. It was the only way we were going to be able to trade with mainland China was by shifting our recognition from Taiwan, Taipei, to Beijing. And in the long run, it's proved to be a mistake. So Trudeau says his government will ensure members of parliament consider all possible consequences of a proposed trip to Taiwan. So already Trudeau is like scared of what the consequences are going to be. And I'm telling him to give his balls a tug. Step up, be a man, and slap the bully in the face. Trudeau said that Friday the MPs make their own decisions about whether committees studying the travel they undertake. There are significant reflections going on right now. Canada has a long-standing position around China and Taiwan that we will ensure to respect. China's belligerence around this and their position, of course, has been for a while troubling. Well, you're not doing much about it. Our military is in a piss poor shape right now. That if Taiwan was to be invaded, there's not a heck of a lot we could do. Now, this Conservative MP, Randy Hoback, said that the Canada-Taiwan Parliamentary Friendship Group stick with Taiwan about twice a year before the CCP virus restricted travel. But he doesn't want to go and antagonize the Chinese Communist Party. Well, again, I tell him to give his balls a tug, and it's time for us to step up and deepen our ties with Taiwan, because the Communist Party of China is becoming more and more antagonistic in that region of the world, and it's time we stepped up to the plate. Anyway, any Canadians out there, let me know what you guys think. Should we bow down to the Communist Party and not visit the island of Taiwan, or should we show the Communist Party of China that we can't be bullied and start recognizing Taiwan as either as an independent country or as the legitimate voice of the Chinese people? Leave comments in the comment section. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until next time, this has been the Great White North Report.